What if I told you that just 4 days ago, something happened in Vatican City that hasn't been seen in over 2,000 years of Catholic history? And what Pope Leo XIV just revealed about families is sending shockwaves through every corner of the Catholic Church and beyond. If you think you know what's happening at the Vatican right now, you're about to discover something that will completely change how you see the Catholic Church's future. On May 8th, 2025, white smoke rose from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel, but this time was different than any other time in Catholic history. Cardinal Robert Prevost from Chicago became Pope Leo XIV, making history as the very first American pope ever elected. Think about that for a moment. Over 2,000 years of Catholic history, 266 previous popes, and never once has an American held this position until now. But here's where things get really interesting. Pope Leo didn't just break the American barrier. At 69 years old, this former Augustinian friar brought with him a diplomatic background unlike anything we've seen before. He spent years working in international relations, speaking multiple languages, and building bridges between different cultures and faiths around the world. Now, you might be wondering what makes this pope so different from his predecessors. Well, let me tell you about what he just announced 4 days ago, because it's nothing short of revolutionary. On August 11th, 2025, Pope Leo signed a document that's completely transforming how the Vatican treats its employees, particularly parents and caregivers. But this isn't just about being a good employer. This is about something much bigger that's shocking the entire Catholic world. Pope Leo just expanded parental leave benefits and created new support systems for employees with children who have disabilities. Now, you might think, okay, that's nice, but how is this shocking the Catholic world? Here's why this matters more than you might realize. The Vatican employs thousands of people from around the world, and for decades, there have been whispers about outdated labor practices. Pope Leo just modernized the Vatican's approach to family life and work-life balance in ways that align with 21st century values while staying true to Catholic teachings about the importance of family. This move is significant because it shows Pope Leo isn't just talking about social justice. He's implementing it right in his own backyard. He's walking the walk, not just talking the talk. And this is coming from a pope who, remember, comes from America, where labor rights and family benefits have been major social and political issues for decades. But there's something even deeper happening here that most people are missing. Pope Leo's approach represents a fundamental shift in how the Catholic Church engages with modern social issues. Previous popes have certainly addressed social justice, but Pope Leo is doing it with a distinctly American perspective that understands both individual rights and community responsibility. Let me break down exactly what he announced, because the details are what make this so revolutionary. First, he formalized 5-day paternity leave for all Vatican employees. This might not sound like much, but in an institution that has been traditionally slow to change, this is groundbreaking. Second, he expanded support for parents with disabled children, giving them additional leave and resources. Third, he raised the age limit for children covered by the Vatican's family allowance, meaning more families get financial support for longer periods. But here's what's really shocking about these changes. Pope Leo is demonstrating that Catholic values and modern workplace practices aren't in conflict with each other. He's showing that you can honor traditional Catholic teachings about family while also providing practical, contemporary support for working parents. This is revolutionary thinking that's sending waves through Catholic communities worldwide. Let me tell you about another aspect of his papacy that's creating even more waves. Just 2 weeks ago, Pope Leo addressed over 1 million young Catholics in Rome in what people are calling a Catholic Woodstock. Can you imagine? 1 million young people coming together to hear what this American pope had to say. During that gathering, Pope Leo made a statement that's still reverberating around the world. He told these young people that they are a sign that a different world is possible. But he didn't stop there. He specifically remembered the young people of Gaza and Ukraine, countries that he said are bloodied by war, acknowledging those who couldn't join the celebration because of conflicts in their regions. This wasn't just a feel-good moment. This was Pope Leo positioning the Catholic Church as a voice for peace in a world that is increasingly divided by conflict and political tensions. And coming from an American pope, these words carry extra weight on the global stage. But here's what might be the most shocking aspect of Pope Leo's early papacy. He's not trying to revolutionize Catholic doctrine or create dramatic theological changes. Instead, He's focusing on practical applications of Catholic teachings in ways that address real-world problems. The family benefits expansion isn't just about being a good employer. It's about demonstrating that Catholic values of supporting families can be implemented in concrete, measurable ways. This approach is particularly significant when you consider the challenges facing the Catholic Church today. Declining membership in many Western countries, scandals that have damaged trust, and younger generations who often see the Church as out of touch with modern life. Pope Leo seems to understand that the Church's future depends not on dramatic theological shifts, but on showing how Catholic values can address contemporary concerns. Let me share something else that's fascinating about this Pope's approach. His background as an Augustinian friar gives him a unique perspective on community life and social responsibility. The Augustinians have always emphasized education, service to the poor, and building inclusive communities. Pope Leo is bringing these values to the entire Catholic Church at a time when division and exclusion seem to dominate global conversations. During that massive youth gathering I mentioned earlier, Pope Leo didn't just give inspiring speeches. He listened. Reports from attendees describe a pope who spent hours in small group discussions, asking questions, taking notes, and genuinely engaging with young people's concerns about everything from climate change to social justice to their role in the modern church. This listening approach is revolutionary in its own way. Too often, religious leadership involves talking at people rather than talking with them. Pope Leo seems to understand that effective leadership in the 21st century requires genuine dialogue, especially with younger generations who have grown up expecting their voices to be heard and their concerns to be addressed. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. The timing of Pope Leo's election and his early actions coincide with some major global challenges. We're living through ongoing conflicts in multiple regions, climate change concerns, economic uncertainties, and deep political divisions in many countries, including the United States. Having an American pope during this time creates unique opportunities and challenges. Pope Leo can speak to American Catholics and political leaders with insider understanding of American culture and politics. But he also has to navigate the complexities of representing a global church while coming from a country that's often seen as politically polarizing. His recent statements about peace and his practical actions supporting families suggest he is choosing to focus on universal human values rather than getting caught up in partisan political debates. This strategy could be exactly what the Catholic Church needs to remain relevant and influential in an increasingly complex world. But let's talk about what this means for the future. Pope Leo's first 100 days have established patterns that suggest his papacy will be markedly different from his predecessors. He's technology savvy, evidenced by how effectively he reached that million young people. He's practically minded, shown by the concrete policy changes he's implementing. And he's globally aware while being culturally specific in his approach. The family benefits expansion I mentioned earlier is just the beginning. Sources close to the Vatican suggest that Pope Leo is planning additional initiatives that will address contemporary social issues through practical Catholic action. While I can't reveal specific details because they haven't been officially announced, the pattern suggests we'll see more policies that demonstrate how Catholic values can address modern challenges. What makes this particularly significant is that Pope Leo is showing other world leaders, both religious and political, how to lead in the modern era. He's demonstrating that you can hold traditional values while adapting to contemporary realities. You can respect ancient wisdom while addressing current problems. You can maintain spiritual authority while embracing practical solutions. This American Pope is also uniquely positioned to bridge divides that have historically separated different groups within the Catholic Church. American Catholics have sometimes felt disconnected from Vatican policies that seemed to come from European perspectives that didn't fully understand American cultural realities. Pope Leo's insider understanding of American Catholic experiences could help heal some of these disconnections. At the same time, his international diplomatic background means he understands global Catholicism in ways that purely American religious leaders might not. He's lived and worked in different countries, speaks multiple languages, and has firsthand experience with how Catholic teachings play out in different cultural contexts. The shock waves from Pope Leo's early actions are being felt far beyond Catholic circles. Interfaith leaders are watching to see how an American pope approaches relationships with other religions. Political leaders are adjusting to having someone in the Vatican who understands American political culture from the inside. And young people around the world are responding to a pope who seems to genuinely understand their concerns and speak their language. But perhaps the most shocking aspect of Pope Leo's papacy so far is how he is managing to be both revolutionary and traditional at the same time. The family benefits expansion is revolutionary in its practical impact, but traditional in its emphasis on supporting Catholic families. His outreach to young people is revolutionary in its methods, but traditional in its focus on passing faith to the next generation. This balance suggests that Pope Leo understands something crucial about effective leadership in our current moment. People don't want to choose between honoring the past and embracing the future. They want leaders who can help them do both. Pope Leo seems to be offering exactly that kind of leadership. As we look toward the rest of his papacy, the patterns established in these first 100 days suggest we're in for continued surprises. An American pope who combines diplomatic skill with pastoral care, who understands both global politics and local parish life, who can speak to world leaders and university students with equal effectiveness. The Catholic Church hasn't seen leadership like this before, and the world is taking notice. From the concrete policy changes affecting Vatican employees to the massive youth gatherings drawing international attention, Pope Leo is demonstrating that religious leadership can be both spiritually grounded and practically effective in addressing contemporary challenges. His approach is showing that the Catholic Church can be both ancient and modern, both traditional and progressive, both spiritually focused and socially engaged. This isn't about changing Catholic doctrine. It's about showing how Catholic doctrine can be lived out in ways that address the real challenges facing families, young people, and communities in the 21st century. The shock waves from Pope Leo's announcements are just beginning to be felt. As more Catholics around the world learn about his family-focused policies and his approach to youth engagement, we're likely to see even more dramatic responses. Some traditional Catholics might be concerned about the pace of change, while progressive Catholics might be energized by his practical approach to social justice. But what's becoming clear is that Pope Leo is charting a course that's uniquely his own, drawing on his American background, his diplomatic experience, and his deep understanding of both Catholic tradition and contemporary challenges. The question now is how the rest of the Catholic world will respond to this new kind of papal leadership. Will other Catholic institutions follow the Vatican's lead in modernizing their approach to supporting families? Will young Catholics around the world be inspired to become more engaged with their faith because of Pope Leo's listening approach? Will his example influence other religious leaders to take more practical approaches to addressing social issues? These are the questions that will define the impact of Pope Leo's papacy in the months and years to come. So here's what I want to know from you. As we watch Pope Leo's papacy unfold, what changes do you think will have the most lasting impact on the Catholic Church and the world? Are you more impressed by his practical policy changes like the family benefits expansion, or his ability to connect with young people in ways that previous popes haven't? Do you think having an American pope will fundamentally change how the Vatican engages with global politics and social issues? And most importantly, do you believe Pope Leo's approach of combining traditional Catholic values with modern practical solutions is the future of religious leadership in the 21st century?